Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Radio Jonesy on tour, and in this video let's talk about this time of year in Tasmania. It is winter. It is June. We're just about at July, and let me say the best part about the place this time of year is that a lot of the tourists have just disappeared and gone. It's just, you don't realize how many tourists are here in the touristy season when the weather's a bit warmer. The weather cools down and they all chicken off and head back to the mainland wherever they come from. But it's really cool how you can notice the difference. Oh wow. It's really cool how you can notice the difference of the urban environment. Like this time of year, it's a bit more chilled, a bit more relaxed, a lot less camper vans and caravans and things on the road. You know, you do get the occasional tourist. People are still coming here for the they call it what do they call it? Experience the change and all this sort of thing. There's a promotion on at the moment trying to get people to come down here in winter. They've done that stupid nude swim thing. Like yesterday, I think it was the largest, the solstice, where the longest night was last night or something, and there was hundreds of people down in Hobart. They all stripped naked and run into the water. I'll chuck a couple of discreet photos in here if I can find them. I think it's crazy. I've been in the water in winter, don't get me wrong, but just stripping off naked. I don't know. What do people get like to join thousands of people naked jumping in the water? What's the thing there? What's the attraction? I digress. Mate, Tasmania is a beautiful place no matter what time of year you're in, what time of what season. Everything changes. It is cooler now, a good time to wear your hoodies and your warm socks, and if you're lucky enough to have a fireplace at home, you know, you put your fire on. It is that time of the year. But if you're a traveller, I don't know, I couldn't see myself living in a car or a caravan this time of year. I think it'd be a bit unpleasant. It's not freezing, but temperatures are down to 0 and 2 degrees and things like that in certain areas. The highlights of the temperatures at the moment is around 12, 13 if we're lucky. 14 people start saying, boy, the sun's out. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it's just amazing. Let me say, if you're thinking about coming to Tasmania and you don't want the crowds and you do like cooler weather, mate, come in June, July and August. Pick any time you got spare to pop over. You'll see, as the weather, you'll see there's blue sky some days. It changes. Like we probably had 15 days of rain. Heavy rain, light rain, misty rain, heavy rain. We had the whole gamut. There was no blue sky for nearly 15 days, and that was a bit dreary and a bit depressing. And then when this latest weekend come around, we got 2 magnificent days of blue sky, no wind. It's just, and if you're sort of not here to experience the gloom or the cool or the darkness or the grey sort of vibe, and then you get the magnificent sunrises and beaches, and people start heading out like magnets. They're just attracted to the sun. Bang, out they go. Yeah, it is a wonderful place to live. It is a wonderful place to visit. In the comments, I'd like to hear where you're from and what parts of Tassie is your favourite, there's so much change and diversity depending on if you're like a northerner or a southerner in Tasmania. There's like a line drawn across the state, and if you're either a mountain person in the middle, or you're a southerner, or you're a northerner. I quite enjoy the northwest. It is, I don't know, it's just an area that we were attracted to. We quite like it up here. Places like Devonport, beautiful locations. You've got other places like Ulverston, a beautiful country towns. You got Wynyard, a lovely, lovely country town. And let me say, when the bulbs are blooming, the festival time in Wynyard, you want to come down and see all that, the tulips and all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely magnificent. And apart from all that, doesn't matter where you go. Like Burnie's a wonderful place. So many people too, let me say this, so many Tasmanians have their favourite, right? Have their favourite area. And it's this area or it's nothing. This is what we want. This is what we live for. This is the pristine place. Whether it's the east coast, the west coast, the south, the north. It's very tribal and it's wonderful. And it's great to see. Like, I've met people in my time here that have never gone south to Hobart, never. They've lived all their time in Tasmania on the north because, you know what, couldn't waste my time going down there. It's just a busier city and full of problems. And these are the voices that have been talking to me about those areas. Whereas some southerners talk to me on the YouTube channels and saying things like, I didn't know Burnie had a beach. Like, Burnie's just a smoggy little funny town. They said worse than that, but because up here there used to be a paper, like a pulp mill for paper, and the industrial and the smog and the smoke and give it a bad rap. Well, that finished decades ago, and mate, this place in Burnie actually is, the whole northwest, to be honest. There's cycleways, coastal walks, there's wilderness, just just 5-minute drive away. You can go into countryside, you can find waterfalls, rainforest areas, I don't know, you just got to pick up a brochure and look at Tasmania and then look at what the pictures are, then look at the map and see, wow. And if you're a mainlander, and I like saying that, if you're a mainlander, the distances you have to travel are huge to go interstates. Like from Queensland, if you're in just say you're in Townsville, my lord, just to get to Brisbane is an effort. And if you're in New South Wales, to get to South Australia, it's a stretch. And for anybody on the east coast to get to the west coast, that is like a lifetime dream of a lot of people to cross the Nullarbor. Well, in Tassie, we can 4 hours and we're as far as we can go. Maybe 5 hours if you get the right diagonals, and then you got to turn around and sort of circle around. So you could have a whole day. I tell you what, that would make a fun video. 12 hours on the road in Tassie and see where we could end up. Where we could go and get back to. There's an idea of something I've been thinking about. But Tasmania in winter, can you live here in winter? Mate, I love it because the people are gone, the tourists are disappeared. The people you see in the streets are your neighbours, your locals, more than and tourists. You sort of get to know the difference, because tell me if you've experienced this in the comments. If you've come here and people look at you and say, "Oh, g'day mate, g'day cobber, how you going, brother?" That sort of thing, it throws mainlanders off because they're not used to it, especially in the big cities where their faces in their phone, their faces on the ground as they walk. They don't want eye contact. I don't want to give him eye contact. He might say something to me. That attitude has been around for a while with the mainlanders, and it's really, the times I've lived in like Newcastle or Sydney or the Central Coast and all these areas in New South Wales, plus those areas are so different. Like the Central Coasties are a bit more different from the Sydney siders, and definitely Newcastle, there's different regions of Newcastle that have different, well, the same thing is here, mate. Tasmania is this nice little melting pot, little pockets, and there's nothing in between, which makes it magnificent to travel. You got farms and cows and sheep and deer, like there's deer farms. People say, geez, you've got deer down here. I mean, we sure have. Not to mention a wallaby factory. Like, if you wanted to live, if you're one of these redneck hillbillies that lives on roadkill, you would never go hungry in Tasmania. Poor old wallabies. Every day you drive around, there's dead ones every day. Like, there's millions of these buggers here. The paddy melons. They're out on the road every night, dodging cars and trucks, and not a lot of them make it. Not a lot of them are smart enough to make it. They got an instinct to scatter. Like, they get scared, they run, and whether they run towards the road or somewhere else, there's dead ones everywhere you go, which is unfortunate. But there's no predators for them as well. That's the other downside. We are the predator for the poor old paddy melon. I'll leave a picture in the. If you haven't seen a paddy melon, my house, I am struggling to keep them out of my backyard. It's like I got to fight them. If they come in, they eat everything. They eat your grass, your plants, your veggie patch, everything like that. Anyway, that's another story for another time. Tell me what you think in the comments. Winter in Tasmania, you got to love it. No one's here. It's great.